Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the second unit, the Earth, which comprises of three chapters. First one is the origin and the evolution of the Earth. Second one is the interior of the Earth, and the third one is distribution of oceans and continents. Uh, let's study the first chapter, the origin and the evolution of the Earth. Remember, in our childhood, we were very much fascinated with the twinkling stars, glittering moons, stars falling apart, or you can say the shooting stars. Many questions came during that time, like how many stars are there in sky? How far they are from Earth? What is the height of the sky? And so on. Now we will study all those fascinating topics. First one, we will study the origin of Earth. Many scientists and the philosophers presented numerous theories regarding the origin of Earth. And the such theory, which is not based on pure truth, is known as hypothesis. Hypothesis can be defined as it is the supposition based on limited evidence that may be true or may not be. One of the earliest hypotheses was presented by the philosopher named Immanuel Kant. He was basically from Germany, and he presented the hypothesis named nebular hypothesis. Nebular hypothesis. He presented the theory in 1734 AD. Nebula means slow moving cloud of sun. Slow moving cloud around the sun, and the cloud consists of gases, and the gas is composed of hydrogen, helium, or you can say the dust particles. Gradually, according to the nebular hypothesis presented by the Immanuel Kant, the nebula which was surrounding the sun got gradually collapsed and flattened by the gravity of the stars. How did the nebula collapse? It collapsed by the gravity of passing stars and got flattened to form the present Earth. That nebular hypothesis was later modified by the Laplace, and the Laplace was the scientist, or you can say mathematician. He was the mathematician. He modified the version of Immanuel Kant hypothesis, that is nebular hypothesis, which was later modified by the Laplace in 1796. According to him, the nebula got flattened by the contraction and cooling, not by the gravity of the star, as it was presented by the Immanuel Kant. So Laplace proposed that the nebula flattened by the contraction and cooling, and it was not the plausible hypothesis which was recognized by the scientists around the world, because it could not explain the some other phenomena associated with the nebular hypothesis. The next hypothesis was presented by the Chamberlain Moulton, and he presented the gaseous theory in 1900 AD. According to him, it was the wandering star who separated cigar-shaped material from the sun. According to him, it was the wandering star separated cigar-shaped material from the sun, and the cigar-shaped material started moving around sun and slowly condensed into the planet. Slowly it was condensed to planet. The next hypothesis was presented by the Jeans and Jeffrey, which is known as tidal hypothesis. But in later on, there was a binary binary theories which says the Earth-like planet was the companion of Sun. Earth, like many planets, which was regarded as the companion of Sun, or it was coexisting with the Sun. And the next hypothesis that was presented by the Otto Schmidt in 1950 and the Carl Weizsäcker in Germany. They were revising the nebular hypothesis because it was very popular hypothesis presented by the Immanuel Kant and Laplace. It was devised by the Otto Schmidt and Carl Weizsäcker. According to this theory, Earth planet formed out of accretion through the collision and friction of particles. What is accretion? Accretion is sticking together of molecules and particles. It is a sticking together of molecules and particles. And the Earth planet formed out of accretion through the collision and friction of particles. Later on, the concern was shifted to the evolution of universe rather than to give hypothesis for the origin of Earth only. So let's begin with the theory of origin of universe. It was the Big Bang theory. It was a very popular and universally accepted theory regarding the origin of universe. It was presented by the Edwin Hubble in 1920. According to this theory, the world is expanding every day. And as the time passes, galaxies move further and further apart. You can make the experiment of take a balloon and mark some point on it, and every point should represent the galaxies, and try to inflate that balloon. While you inflate the balloon, it expands, and the distance between every point you mentioned as a galaxy also expand. But this kind of experiment may not explain the uh, proper Big Bang theory, but it shows some part of theory which reflects how the Big Bang theory works in the universe. So let us see this figure. You can observe it like the diamond which is placed. The Big Bang theory considered the following stages in the development of universe. First stage is in the beginning, all the matters of the universe, whether it is planet, satellite, solar system, stars, or many heavenly bodies, all the heavenly bodies, these all are said to be the matter. These all matters were condensed, or you can say kept into single atom. All the matters of the universe were kept under the single atom, and that single atom can be termed as teeny ball. And the density of that single atom was so much that you cannot imagine what is the total amount of density, or what is the total amount of temperature in that single atom. In the latter part of that single atom, the big explosion that occurred just 13.7 billion years before of the present. That explosion leads to rapid expansion, and that rapid expansion of the energy, some part of that energy some part of that tremendous energy converted into the matter. What we observe, what we are able to see, all the matter that comes from that teeny ball or the matter under the size of single atom. The expansion continues even to the present day. As it grew, some energy is converted into matter. There was particularly rapid expansion within the fraction of a second after the bang. Thereafter, the expansion has slowed down. After some time, the time, if we talk about the time of the solar system or heavenly bodies, it takes around thousands of years, lakhs of years. So, after some time, the expansion slowed down. Within the first 3 minutes of the Big Bang, the first atom of the universe got formed. And the third stage is within the 3 lakh years from the Big Bang, temperature dropped to 4500 Kelvin. You already know that the temperature are also measured in terms of Kelvin. If we talk about the temperature of sun, then we say the temperature of sun are approximately 5778 Kelvin and gave rise to atomic matter. The universe became transparent. The expansion of universe means increase in space between the galaxies. It means the galaxies were moving further from the center of the universe. An alternative to this was Hoyle's concept of steady state. Another hypothesis named steady state was proposed by the Hoyles. According to this hypothesis, the universe was roughly the same at any point of time. Means, according to the Big Bang theory, the universe is expanding. The size of universe was not remained at the every point of time, but according to the steady state hypothesis, the size of universe was same, or you can say the size of universe was constant at every point of time. However, with the greater evidence becoming available about the expanding universe, scientific community at present favors argument of expanding universe. Means all over the earth, the scientists have the greater unanimity and for the acceptance of the Big Bang theory. So this is end for the class of today. We will study the next topic in the another session. So bye.